All right, and we are getting ready to go live. So hello and welcome everyone. I'm Marcy Cleveland with Hudson Valley Green Homes. And this is our third Lunch and Learn webinar. And today we are talking with Better Energy Solutions, Inc. about the energy audit and weatherization. These are your first steps to an efficient home. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. And I am here with Henry Mendoza, who's the Senior Director of Operations at Better Energy. And we really wanted to do this event today because a lot of people, first of all, don't even know that as a New York resident and homeowner, you can get a 100% free home energy audit, which is really a health check on how your house is, where your baseline is for energy efficiency of your home. And the other reason is I just wanted to present my own personal experience with energy audits and weatherization. I had a situation when I was a very young homeowner, and I got talked into purchasing some very great windows, some triple paned Schuco windows, and they were beautiful windows, but we had these windows installed. We were promised a 30% reduction in our energy bills, and we never saw that decrease in our electricity bills because no one told us that we really needed to do a whole lot more than just put new windows in our home. We did not have good insulation. We did not have good air sealing. So these are important things that you need to find out about your house before you start doing a bunch of upgrades like new windows or putting in a heat pump system, because your house works as a whole. It works as a system, and there are a lot of parts to it. And I'm going to actually turn this over to Henry right now, who's going to just introduce himself and tell you a little bit about what he does at Better Energy. So go ahead, Henry.
Hello, how are you, everyone? Well, as Marcy said, I'm the Senior Director of Operations for Better Energy Solutions. My role in the company is to make sure that our clients receive the services that we provide, and to make their home more energy efficient, as you mentioned. Ensure that everything that we do in the audit is properly installed in their home, so they can really achieve those savings that she was talking about. And I'm happy that Marcy mentioned about windows, because that's a misconception that people have out there in the world, that windows are the thing to do, right, to save energy in their home. But there are other factors that really are the ones and key to, that are contributing to your home not being energy efficient. And windows are a very expensive part of it that really does not contribute much into it. As a matter of fact, most of the programs that we do in weatherization or empower and all the things that you're going to hear later, they put windows at the bottom, okay, of the priorities in energy savings, because they don't provide as much energy savings for the investment that you do, that SIR that you will hear later on, that ratio of savings versus investment. And that's what we're going to talk about here. What you can do so you can, that money that you're putting into your home, really give you the highest return possible into savings. Mm-hmm. So that's what I do in Better Energy Solutions. And we really reach out to the community so they can take advantage of all these programs as part of the whole program that the state and the nation is doing to reduce the energy consumption as a whole.
Great. So Henry, let's talk about some of the first steps a homeowner can take on their own. And I'm actually going to share my screen because we're going to get into the slide portion of this. And let me see if everybody sees this now. This was our first picture. So homeowners can do a little bit on their own before they actually have a professional energy audit performed. So a couple of things that we talked about before is that homeowners can go to the energystar.gov website, and that's a wonderful, wonderful website, by the way. There's just a lot of information there about things that you can do as a homeowner. But you can actually do your own home energy assessment using some of the tools available on the Energy Star website. You can also go to the energy.gov, which is the Department of Energy, and they have a do-it-yourself home energy audit as well. So I would say start there first, and then let's talk about what the next steps would be for homeowners to be able to get a free energy audit.
Okay, what I want to say this is that the first thing they have to do is to change behavior, and I'm going to talk a lot about that
Okay.
as we go, because it is important, and it's a message that I always portray and say to everybody when I'll do this type of presentations, is that no matter what we do, we can do many things at home. Yes, we're going to achieve some savings, but if we don't change behavior and we're not conscious about it, of what we're doing in our home. I can install the most efficient equipment in a home, but if I keep that equipment running when I don't need it, or things of that nature, or I'm not turning my lights off, all those are practical things that, regardless of what you have right now in your home, will save you, some energy. So all these that we're going to be talking about, yes, we'll help you, but if at the end you don't understand why you're doing it and to change that behavior, you're not gonna get the full benefit of it. So I just want to address that. But yes, you can do things on your own. You can start, reading about what you should be doing in your home. Changing light bulbs is one of the things that people can do on their own, and we do it also for them. And changing from those incandescents that give you 40, 100 watts to one that will give you the same emission and probably will just only burn 9 watts or something like that on that.
Right.
So right there you have a huge savings. And if you think about it, those little things that you do in your home, as I say, just by turning the lights off and changing those bulbs and things of that nature, will help you to start doing your own assessment. Things that you can do also that will help when you ask for a professional to come into your home is like keep information about your home. Which room is the one that feels the coldest? Which one, during this winter time? Which one is the one that is hotter under the summertime? You are the one that knows your home better than anyone, because you're the one that lives there in and out every single day. So that information will help a lot. There's other, self-to-do kits like weather stripping type of thing that you can do to block certain entrance. But in reality, although you can do those things, the impact will be very minimal, but it will be something that will help you to start, the process and being conscious about it. So those things will be great. The most informed you are, the better you will understand when the person that is a professional goes and do a full audit in your home, because you will have an idea of what we're talking about.
Cool. Thank you, Henry. And I'm really glad that you mentioned the part about behavior. I've heard stories about folks will get solar panels installed on their roof, and now they think, oh, great, I have the sun powering my house. And then they'll start leaving lights on and doing all these things that they normally wouldn't have done before they had the solar panels, and they end up having a higher electricity bill.
Yes.
So absolutely. Great. So let's talk about what do folks need to do to sign up for getting the free home energy audit? Where do they need to go?
Well, basically, they had to go to the NYSERDA website. I'm not sure if you have it there. I think you do. And basically, they can just sign for to the energy audit. They go in there, they give the information. They will get an approval. They can choose who the contractor can be on the site. Once they sign in, then we will go to their home to do the assessment. There is, and let me tell you, New York is a state that is very progressive into that.
Mhm.
Not all the states have that program that where people, homeowners, can just get an assessment of their home. Uh, by having that assessment, that's the first step to moving towards, making your home a better and more efficient. And I want to address only that by doing that assessment, that audit, we're not going to address only the energy efficient aspect of your home, but also the health and safety of your home, which is a very important element into all this. Because when we do the assessment, one of the things that have been overlooked for years is the health and the safety of that home. And when I say about that is the health and safety of the occupants of the home, and how this home or aspect of that system that you said at the beginning, right? Because the home is a whole, is a system, contributes one way or another to the health and the safety of their occupants. So we tie those two things, the safety and health and safety with the energy saving. Those two go together to achieve a better living environment, basically, into your home.
So let's talk about some of the aspects of that energy audit and what that is going to look at, the type of testing that might be performed, the evaluation aspects of it, just what can a homeowner expect when an energy audit is performed?
Well, the first thing that he or she will she'll expect is that a lot of questions from the energy auditor.
Right.
And yes, a lot of questions because, as I said at the beginning, the owner is the one that knows the home, right? Better than nobody, everybody else. So one of the things that the energy auditor will do is to first have a conversation with the homeowner, ask about all these questions, if he or she knows areas that were ventilated, like I mentioned before, which areas of their home are colder or are hotter during the winter time or summertime, things of that nature, right?
Right.
Once that's done, then the auditor will do a physical inspection of the home.
Okay.
He will go through, do a walkthrough outside and inside. Everything has to be accessible. Every single room of the home should be accessible. Attic, basement, bedrooms, everything. Every area of the home has to be accessible to the energy auditor in order to have a quality and audit performed. They should expect also them to have some equipment like the blower door, for example. Okay, the blower door is just a fan, a big fan that they put in at the main door, basically. And what that does is makes your home and put your home in a negative pressure. It's like having, don't be afraid about what I'm going to say, but it's like having a 50-mile-per-hour wind coming inside your home.
Right.
You're not going to feel it that much, but that's the pressure that we bring your home into. So what that does is that we'll pull out air from inside your home, right? And that will make air from the outside coming inside your home. Because there is a law that by every 1 cubic feet of air that I'm pulling out, another one has to come in. So that will give us an idea of how many holes you have in your home, those holes that you mentioned at the beginning, Marcy.
Right.
So once that's done, what we'll do is we review all the data that we collected and through the walkthrough, through the tests that we do. Sometimes they will do, depending on the home, some duct blaster, which is another one for the, the heating system, duct system that is in there. So we were going to be doing several tests. We're going to test also your heating equipment. All combustions will be tested, which is part of the health and safety portion of it. So once all that is done, then we'll go back to the office, input all that data in a software that will give us, what we should be doing in your home, what then the recommendations that will come. So this is science. This is not just we're gonna guess, right? What
Yeah.
we're gonna be doing. This is not a guessing game. This is something where we go, we do both a physical, we view what's going on, and then we got a data of your home, put it all together, and that way we can give you a recommendation, and we can project, again, based on data that we have, what your savings will be. It's important for the homeowner to have their history of
Mhm.
electric bills, the heating, gas or propane or wood if they use wood, whatever fuel they use to heat their home or keep their home cool, it will be needed, because we base this on your home. And this is something that I want to emphasize. This is unique to you, to that home, because although your home is next to your neighbor and you might think that it will behave the same way, it does not. It has a complete different, their own mind, let's put it that way.
Yes.
They do their own, they're unique, because your home doesn't have the same amount of holes like the one next to you, although they're in the same area, have different configurations. So that's very important to know, because people sometimes ask why they did this into my neighbor and they're not doing this into my home. Well, because your home needs this and your neighbor needed this something else. It's like when you go to the doctor, why he got antibiotics and I didn't? Well, because they have a bacteria, you don't. Well,
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, you can think of the home energy audit as your annual exam for, when you go to the doctor and you have to have your medical history. What have you had done? Just like you need to have your history of your energy bills ready for the auditor.
Yes.
So that's a good way to think of it.
So
I just wanted to take, Henry, I was just going to say one thing real quick, because this is kind of from a real estate perspective, that as a homeowner, make sure you keep all your documentation. Make sure you know what your home energy bills are before you have any improvements or upgrades made to your home. Save the results from your home energy audit, because once you have the energy audit, and if you do make upgrades, you're going to want to be able to show how your house was performing before and then after, because when it comes time to resell your house, if you want to market your home as an energy efficient home, you need to be able to provide that documentation, so you have some concrete evidence that you did make these improvements. Because I know, as we've talked, Henry, a lot of the improvements happen, behind the walls, and you can't necessarily see them.
I was going to say that, and I think from that point is very, very important, because these add values to your home. But unfortunately, a lot of that value that you add into your home is unseen value, because people are not going to go, let me see how many holes did you seal in your home. Let me see, can you just put the sheetrock down so I can see the insulation that is behind? None of that is going to happen. But if you have proof of that, then people will know, yes, this home is insulated. And then you can have, and attest, yes, this is what we did in our home. Yes, I agree with you on that, Marcy.
Cool. All right, Henry. So let's take a look at our slides. I have the slide up here where health and safety issues, and you touched on this. Yes. So let's look at this. This would be some of the stuff that you would do in a home energy audit. Can you just maybe mention a few things here about this slide?
Yeah. When we look at health and safety issues, we look at the factors that are contributing to that cause, right? Because when you see something, a symptom, there is a cause for that symptom, right? So we look at what might be contributing to areas with where water is accumulated. So high humidity is there. If you have high humidity and things of that nature, that might contribute to mold-like, situations, which is unhealthy. And also the combustion, again, You see in there where you show in the garage or the basement where the combustion appliances are. Well, we also look at things that might be contributing to levels of CO in your home. People don't think about it, right? Because we live in there. Well, we check the combustion system because of it. So that's important to look at all those, because when we treat your home and we start giving the medication to your home to make it more energy efficient, right?
Right.
That will affect what those things are in there. So we have to make sure that we're not making it worse than it is, right?
Right.
And better yet, correct it, because we want to make sure that those health and safety issues that are currently present are not enhanced, or better yet, what we do is eliminate them and bring it to what is normal into it. So this health and safety that you're showing in there, all the areas of the home, is important to be addressed from the get-go. As a matter of fact, we will not do any changes and make any changes in your home if these issues are not addressed beforehand.
Right.
Because we will not put anyone at risk in their own home, of course.
Right. And we're all very, very concerned right now with everything that's going on regarding being healthy as it is, but also the health of our home is very important. And I know that if you don't have the correct ventilation, you could have some real problems with indoor air quality. I'm not sure if you want to address that right now.
Well, ventilation is part of the whole assessment. And yes, you're right about that. That's the popular saying, my home needs to breathe, right? We all need to breathe air. Well, the home needs to do that, but to a point where we have to give that breathing of the home in a way that is healthy for everybody. So when you do, like in the picture that you're showing there, in the winter, all those dropping in air and things like that, that is because the moisture inside your home that we have and we generate every day when we take a bath, when we cook, when we even breathe ourselves, we're generating of the moisture, goes with the air somewhere, and it's that movement inside the home. So when you have infiltrations between your living area, which is the envelope that we're going to talk later into it, okay, and goes into another area, and there's condensation, well, it creates things like the one in the left, right, that you're looking at the picture, where all this dropping is going there, the water is condensing, water gets there, then that contributes to more like substances and things of that nature. On the one on the right has a proper ventilation with everything moves, the air goes, there is sealed, there's nothing, no connection between the home and the cold area of your attic, but that area is breathing and moving all the air. So those health issues that might be like the one on the left is addressed. So yes, ventilation is part of that assessment of the, not only the energy, but the health part of it.
Right.
And that's only one part. We can, Marcia, we can talk all day long about
I know.
it, but we don't have that.
All right, let's go on to our next slide. Okay, now this goes along with what you were saying earlier about the blower door test, which is on the left-hand side, and then we've got the duct blaster test on the blaster on the right, there. So,
and that's what a blower door assembly will look like, more or less. You see the fan over there on the bottom, and that's the fan that put the pressure and gives the pressure, depressurize your home to bring it. So we have a number in that little manometer that you see in the left upper hand, right, of the red. That's a manometer that is just reading that, giving the information of what's going on through that fan, how many CFM are coming out, because it gets to a point where you cannot pull more, right? Because it's coming in and coming out. So that number gives us great information about the that the status of your home, how many holes you have in your home. And when I say holes, I don't want people to believe that they have like, big opening in the roof or things of that nature. But basically that's what it gives us, those little holes that when you add it up, right, is where the air gets into your home or gets out of your home, depending on the circumstances. And I'm not going to go into a lot of technical details, but basically, just to give you an idea, they have to be at different of pressures. There always is a different of pressure between the outside and the inside of your home. So depending on that, that's how your home will behave that day. It's like us, right? If I feel like going right now and I feel great, I might go out and walk. Well, if I don't, I just stay home. Well, your home behaves also depending on what the environment is. But there is a constant. Those holes are there, and that will give us a very, important information into that. The dot blaster, on the other hand, okay, on the right, functions almost the same, but is for the duct system inside your home. And a lot of people don't think that the duct system like an extension of their living environment, but in reality, that's what it is. So it's a system that is connected to the inside of your home, and it's an extension. If there's holes on that system, you're losing a lot also through that.
Now, Henry, will all homes do the duct blaster test? No.
No, not all of them. Only those that have furnaces with forced air will have that test, because not every home, again, every home is unique, right? Each one of them will have different heating systems. So those that have a furnace and forced air, hot air, those are the ones that most likely will get a duct blaster.
Great.
But every home, and I will say almost every home, will have a blower doors, on it.
Or every home should have a blower door test.
Well, they should, but there are certain conditions. Again, we go into the health and safety, right? Part of it, because there are certain things that will prevent us to do a blower door. And I'm not want to scare nobody, but if there is certain, vermiculite, for example, or that type of, or asbestos, frivolous, things of that nature that will impact that and make that airborne in their home, because we're putting a blower door. We don't want to do that. We don't want to enhance, and affect the health and safety again of the occupants, right? So, but that's very minimal. We don't encounter that much, but when we do, we assess in a different way and calculate what that blower door number might be in their home.
Okay, so I want to look at this picture because this is a really cool photograph.
Yes.
So this was shot with an infrared gun, which is a tool that auditors use. And just explain a little bit about what we're seeing here.
Well, basically, that's a picture of a home with an infrared camera. What it's saying that where there are the hot and cold spots in your home, right? If it's cold out there in the outside, okay, then you want to, when you do the infrared camera, it will tell you, and you have, by the way, most of these are done when you all have the blower door going, running. Why? Because you want to create that difference between the outside and the inside of your home. And in general speaking, the greater the difference of temperature is between the outside and the inside, the better you're going to have a real picture of what's going on in your home. So if you see in the left side of the picture, right, where you say uninsulated half, you see all the walls are very hot, right? Because you see the temperature, the brighter the color, the hotter the surface is. And it's reading the surface temperature. It's not an X-ray machine. So people think this is a X-ray. No, it's reading the temperature of the surface. So what it's telling on the left is that okay, that surface is very hot. So that says that the air, hot air that is inside your home is heating your walls. Shouldn't be heating your walls, right?
Right.
Shouldn't be doing that. It should be just being hot inside your home. So that tells us that those walls most likely have no insulation. They have a lot of air infiltration because the heat is going through all those holes that we're talking about into
Right.
the wall and heating that wall. And not only heating that wall, but also escaping to the outside that is colder, because that's physics, right? Goes from heat from the hotter area to the colder area. Works that way every single time.
Right. And
So
you can see the giant air leak here.
yeah, air leakage in there. It will blow in there. Okay, and if it's cold air, that thing will be very, very cold, very dark, like a dark, because it's cold air infiltrated. Most likely this one was done kind of in the summer because it's hot
Right.
air that is coming in there. On the other, you see the difference of color, right?
Oh yeah.
The other half insulated is more like a purple one, right? More
Mhm.
dark color. That tells us that the walls are colder than in the other side, which means that the heating is not moving through that as fast, right?
Right.
So the heat is keeping inside your home. And this, I want to point to the windows. You see the windows?
Mm-hmm.
The windows, what color they are? They're orange, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because windows, going back to the same, they're not a great insulators. They're not a great holder of, the heat inside your home, because they're not. It's just the material that they use. But it's important that you see what is around the windows. You see around the windows that
Yes.
the areas the color is darker,
Yes.
because there's no infiltration in there. There's nothing going on. But look at the window on the left side,
Yeah.
right? The uninsulated, that practically is the same color all around, right? There's a
Mhm.
lot of infiltration going there. It's hot. So this will give you an idea of which areas we need to address
Right. Trouble spots.
in when we do our assessment, which areas we need to insulate because it lack insulation. Uh, Besides also the physical. So these are tools and information that will help us to do that. And you see what it said, window heat losses, because all around it, we have a lot of air leakage. And the air leakage, I'm going to address that, is the biggest factor, okay,
Mm-hmm.
to make your home energy inefficient, because
Mm-hmm.
your heat, it goes escape. Air is very lazy, like water. They like to go through the easiest path of least resistance. They don't want to go anywhere else. So when they see the first hole, that's where they go out. And that's what is happening in the home. So what we do when we, in a practical
Mm-hmm.
sense, is we block off those easy exits to the air, right?
Yep.
So the air stays in your home.
Great.
You can
All
more.
right, Henry, we're going to move on because we
All right.
are about halfway through our presentation and we still have a lot of material to cover.
Oh, let's
So
move on.
let's go on to LED lighting.
Yeah.
And what an easy improvement that you can make in your homes and save so much. I can tell you that I changed out all my halogen bulbs and incandescents for LEDs, and I've saved in just 1 year like $120. Easily
Yes.
paid for all of those bulbs.
And this is, if anything of all this, everyone right now listening to this, they should be doing this.
Yeah.
Go through your home, look at how many light bulbs you have in your home, and just do this investment. I assure you that by doing it, it's going to pay you back 100-fold into the energy saving. Nowadays, LED are so inexpensive. It's not like it was at the beginning when they were coming up, that a light bulb of, LED was $20, only one light bulb, okay? Now you find light bulbs for $3, $2, $5, $4, depending on the you know, the light bulb that you want to do. But if you want to do an improvement right now that will help you, and I agree with you, Marcy, let's just do that.
Yeah.
Change your light bulbs for LEDs, and that will help you immensely on that. And all those factors that you put in there, longer life, eco-friendly, energy efficient. In top of that, you're helping the environment because, you know, you're not wasting more energy. That we're not burning coal. We're not doing this. We're not doing a lot of things because less energy is being used in your home. So yes, LEDs, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and you can go on Amazon. I just I think it was 10 or 12 of the replacement for the recessed lights that I had in my home. It was like $68. I mean, it was really inexpensive compared to what they used to be.
Yes.
So definitely check that out. All right, we're going to have to go through this really, really quick because we don't have a lot of time left. But people may hear the term hers and hes and, you know, wonder what that is.
Well, this is just a system, very quick, that tells you how efficient is your home. Here one that it was done by the Residential Energy, you know, the ResNet network. It tells you what your home is energy efficient on that. In this system, when you hear HERS, the lower the number, the more efficient you are. With the HES, that comes from the Department of Energy, and that is a vice versa. The higher the number, the more energy efficient your home is. Basically, both of them just give you an idea of where your home is, basically, on energy saving. So if you hear about this, just know that, you know, the lower the number, the more energy efficient is. In HES, the higher the number, the more energy efficient it is.
Now, is this a number that you're going to get after a home energy audit is performed?
No, we don't provide these numbers. But what we do, though, is tell you, listen, you're going to have a lot of energy savings, and we will project what that will be, you know, based on your own consumption.
I'm just curious, if somebody wanted to know these numbers for their house, how would you get them? Do you have to hire a ResNet rated auditor to get them?
Yes, and sometimes you do, but you know, what they do is they just go into a brief evaluation of your home, and they will give you a number. Okay. They're not auditors. They're not going to be doing an audit in your home. They're just going to evaluate where your home is. Okay. And then they will assess what that is. Yes.
I'm curious, how long is a home energy audit? How long should somebody prepare to have an auditor at their
in average, between 2 to 3 hours, depending on the home. Yeah.
And if somebody were not able to get the free service, maybe just because there's a backlog and they don't want to wait around to get it, and they just want to, you know, just be done with it and get it over with, they can obviously hire an auditor, and what typically would that cost?
The cost runs between $400 to $700, depending on, you know, depend on the house size and everything, but that's the average.
Yes, so that would be equivalent to if a buyer is buying a new home and they're doing a home inspection. That's very typical for that range to have a regular home inspection done. So as a realtor, I would tell my home buyers to just plan on saving that money and just getting the home energy audit done right from the get-go if they don't want to wait around for a free one.
Yes.
So. All right, great. We are moving on. So here's something. This is a great graphic. This shows some of the things that, some of the leak areas that are very common that would be discovered in an energy audit.
And the holes that I was referring about earlier. And I love this picture because it just shows in a very simple way where all those holes are located. And typically it's more from the basement and the attic, okay, where all these holes are presented. This is where where every place where there is a joint in the home where it was built, there is a hole, because there's nothing is completely sealed when they do. New constructions are moving into that direction, you know, into really making the homes very tight. When we call tight, it's very, that those air escapes. And that's where they evaluate if there's some mechanical, ventilation is needed, because again, the home needs to breathe and air needs to move around. So one of the things that we do, and we're talking about homes that were built already, okay? And so we call this as a retrofit. We are fixing certain of the, things that were there on those and plugging those holes. So when we do the number, we take that into consideration, and we left the home to a level of breathing that will help, in the health, but at the same time is contributing to lower the energy cost of it. So this picture is great, Marcy, because it shows where those holes are. Is everything that open, the connection between the living area and other areas of the home. Typically, the heating system, the chimney running all the way up, any bad ventilation that goes up and move and open a hole between that and the system, plates and that are in the foundation of the home, crawl spaces, things that move from the outside to the inside, or vice versa, from the inside to the outside of the home. All those areas are the areas where your holes are presented. Obviously, there are other, less obvious, like the windows. You see the windows, those arrows in the windows, around the windows, is not in the window, right? Around where, because when they is going to install windows, it's basically they open a hole in your home and then they put the window in there. So that area surrounding the window is an area where air comes in to your home or escape your home, depending on the situation. So yes, all those areas is what we go into as an auditor and check every single one of them.
Right. And I also like this graphic because in the upper right-hand corner, you see in the red outline the actual home envelope. And we talk about this a lot, about the importance of tightening up the envelope of your home before you do any type of upgrade. Because
when I say about the envelope, and I like that, is because the envelope is basically your living area, right? That's the area that you want to keep heated during the winter or cool during the summer. And if you see the seal that is going around, that's what we seal when we go and do the energy auditor, and when we are actually doing the work. That's what we seal. So we keep everything outside, we say it, right? We keep inside and outside. And just a pearl in here, the attic, when you seal all that, should be at the same temperature like outside, okay? And your crawl space, if you're living it out, also should be the same temperature out there as the outside. Should be ventilated.
Yes.
Have air coming in and out, right? Because you want to keep it at the same temperature as the outside, okay? And connected to the outside, not connected to your home. And when we say connected to your home, is not communicating to your home. It's part of your home, is connected, obviously, but not talking to your home, quote unquote, in that.
Great. All right, so this is kind of part two, because this is just assume the energy audit is over and you know what the health of your home, and you know where all your leaks are. And now we get into the weatherization part. This is the actual work part. And we're going to kind of fly through these next slides so we can get through them all. We're going to talk about things that can be done. But first, we have a great graphic here that shows that 64% of every household, the costs are for your energy of heating, right? Space heating. So I don't know if you want to just say a few words about this.
Very quickly. A lot of people don't think about the hot water like a contributor in that heating, but it's part of heating because you're heating your water. And so if you see just those two elements in there, you're talking about 80, what, 84%, 82%?
Yeah, it's high.
Is there. But yes, there's other contributors like lighting. That's why I say, if you change your LED, you will have some saving, almost 10% of it. So Yes, that gives you a great picture of where your heating, your energy is living. And that's why we are sealing all do that, because the more we make that heating systems work, the less we make them work, the more you're going to be saving, because there's not going to be wasting,
Right.
fuel on
Right.
that.
All your heat's not going to be escaping through all of those leaks, and all your air conditioning's
All
not
those,
going to be going out.
yeah.
So, and this is kind of another reason why weatherization is important, is that you're reducing your home's carbon footprint by making it more efficient.
That's it. That's something that we mentioned at the beginning, and that's what it is true. Your energy usage, the things, all that contributes to this pie of the reducing the carbon emissions, and also, the what we talk about, climate, right? Climate, heating, and everything that we're going to right now. So if we do our part, we're going to be contributing to that. So that's great.
Great. All right. So here would be something that you would do as a weatherization service.
Yes, we will. That's what we will be doing. Some of the things we will be doing. The upper two are showing, weather stripping of the door. We will put some door sweeps in there. All that, what it's doing is to prevent the air to escape again, from inside your home to the outside, or vice versa, from the outside to the inside. Because again, during summertime, the hot air wants to come into your home. During wintertime, your hot air inside your home wants to get out of your home.
Right.
So that's what will prevent. So we're putting a barrier there. You see around the windows that, caulking the windows around. So again, air sealing. And this, and I'm grateful that you put this, Marcy, because air sealing, okay, not only of windows and doors, but all those other holes that we show in the previous slides.
Rim joists.
Biggest contributor, okay, to your home to be more energy efficient. And that's why I refer at the beginning that most of the things that we do and will make your home more energy efficient are things that sometimes you don't see.
Right.
And when you do that, then if you document, like you mentioned, then you will have a proof that that was done in your home.
Exactly. All right. So here are just a bunch of different little things that can be done, that you can have professionally done, or some of them you can actually do yourself.
There are certain things that you can do yourself, that's for sure. Like blocking, the door down in the bottom. That's a door sweep type of thing that, again, it prevents the air from coming or escaping your home. That's a balloon that we put in chimneys sometimes, especially if they don't use the chimney, but it's removable. Okay, you can put it and take it out. So if you want to use your chimney, you can use your chimney. But while you're not using it, that's basically a hole, an open hole between your home and the outside on that. So you keep it, closed. Insulation on the side.
Just make sure you take it out of your fireplace before you use it. That would be bad.
And I want to talk briefly about, touch on the water heater. You see that wrapping around the water heater? That's to make the water heater maintain the hot water hotter for a longer period of time. But I want to mention that some manufacturers will not allow you to put that around. And because if you do, then it will void the warranty in your water heater. So we, as an auditor, we check that as well. So if it's something that the manufacturer already have some insulation built into the tank, and they recommend not to put any blanket around for, make it more efficient, we don't do that. We will not recommend that. And I want people to know that that might happen, that, again, going to why my neighbor, they put something and the other one they didn't.
Yeah.
That's one perfect example of why. It depends on what you do. And in this over here and the other pictures, you're talking, again, covering, making some box in your attic access stairs, for example, where all those areas are the ones where the air, is connecting your home to the attic area, and you want to separate that. So we put all that, and we do all that prior to insulating, okay, your home and your attic to make it, again, more energy efficient. On the left, there's some mastics, because those are, you know, ducts for hot air, right? Again, those connections, everything that is connected has a hole.
Right.
Although you think it's tight, it's not completely. So we tight all that, and that's what Doug Blaster will give us information on how leaky those systems are. So we will recommend, okay, it's very leaky because it's a lot of air is escaping. Then we do max, you know, around and make it and seal all those holes in your system.
Great.
So that's a perfect example of what we do. That's insulation.
Yes,
okay.
This is the one everybody hears about, right?
Yep, everybody here. There's different type of insulation, you know, blown insulation. We do dense pack, like in the bottom right, where we drill holes into the home. And don't be afraid of those holes. They're plugging back, okay?
Right.
We put plugs back in, and we put the siding back in. So you will not even see none of this. But again, it goes back to what we say. A lot of things you will not see after we're done, but it was done, right? And you will see where it was. This on the left bottom, there's another type of insulation, the spray and foam. That's very expensive, by the way. It's not commonly used, but depending on the condition of the home, of what we do, we call it sometimes like a hot roof, right? That we want to leave the roof in the attic and make it the attic part of that envelope that we were mentioned before, because it's more cost efficient, because there's some equipment in there, heating equipment, things of that nature. So it's more practical to put it inside the envelope than outside the envelope. But that's a determination that we do when we do the audit. So this is just a different type of insulation techniques and things that we do as part of the home audit. And which one we'll be using will depend on your home, basically.
Okay. So let's talk real quick about some programs that are available through NYSERDA. We have the residential energy audit, which we talked about is free for homeowners, but there are a couple other programs where folks can actually get help financially to have weatherization services done at their home.
There is in New York, and I'm going to talk about New York State, right? There is the weatherization program that is available all 50 states. But in New York, there is other programs which is the Empower and the Assisted Home Performance. It would be great if you make them, if you make that link available to everybody, so they can go in there, they can plug in what their income is, and that link will tell them which program they're eligible for. But in a nutshell, if you're eligible for Empower, basically all the measures that we'll be doing and that are approved by Empower and that Empower, you know, approved, will be free cost to the person if you're eligible for Empower. So not only the audit will be free, okay, which is available for everybody, but the things that we will do in your home will be free. Then we have the Assisted Home Performance Program, which is a program that will basically subsidize 50% of your cost up to $4,000, again, based on what is eligible under the program. And the remaining of the cost offers very low, very low interest loans to the homeowners. With everything that is going on, and I want to give, you know, high hopes to everybody, but they're even talking about modifying it a little bit, these programs, and offer even lower interest, up to zero interest loans into this.
Wow.
That's not in effect right now, but they're having conversation about it because the impact that COVID-19 has, you know, done to our society, right? And to people's and households. So I would recommend to everybody that is listening right now and they're interested on this, just to go in there. It's no cost to you. You're not going to pay nothing for this. You just go in there, you look. Even when we go as a contractor and do your audit, nothing is done if you don't approve it, because it's not imposed, right? You
Right.
have to agree to it. And no matter where you qualify and in which programs you are eligible for, there are options also. Even if you're not eligible for the assistant home and that 50%, there are programs that will give you loans, very low, interest loans, to do the improvements that you want to do in your home. So
Fantastic.
it is awesome. Yeah.
All right. So Henry, I'm just going to go to our last slide. I want to talk a little bit about, so what are you able to do right now at Better Energy while we are still under the restrictions for the code,
Well, one thing that you can do is definitely you can apply, right, for, do your application regardless, get it moving. Because one of the things that we will be doing is making sure that once we receive that application and everything is in order back as normal as possible, right? We will contact you. If you feel comfortable enough, we will arrange for that audit into your home, and then we will do the work. I want to say that our company is preparing for this. We have PPEs for our staff. We're making sure that we're doing the things right, because we have to make it. We all have to make it right, to make sure that we get out of this, troubling times we're going through.
Yes.
But at the same time, it is important that we address the issues that we have in our homes. So you can apply, and when you apply, you can choose us as your contractor if you feel. You don't have to. You're free to choose whoever you want. But I have to say, and this is just a commercial, we're the best.
We know you guys do good. We do know that. All right. Well, I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I just want to give an official thank you to Henry for joining us today and imparting such great information. So I hope that everyone got a lot out of this webinar. And if you need to contact Henry or you want to reach out, I had his information there on the screen, but I will also put it in a post. So thank you so much. And please tune in on Thursday, where we're going to be talking with Rick Alfondre of Alfondre Architecture in New Paltz about building a green home from concept to completion. So that should be a really fun
event. That will be fun, yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Have a great
Take
day.
care. Bye.